Welcome to Portugal, to Villarreal for rounds 9 and 10 of the FIA World Touring Car Championship on a hot and humid afternoon with blue sky fast being replaced by dark cloud. Cars on the grid, ready for the start of our opening race, which will feature for the very first time the Joker Lap. The World Touring Car Joker Lap being used for the very first time during both of our races. Where overtaking isn't always possible, the Joker Lap will require drivers to take an alternate route away from the regular racing line, which is an equivalent of about a 4-second time penalty. The Joker Lap located on the very final corner of the circuit, turn 26, where the roundabout lies. Drivers will have to sacrifice time and possibly track position as they take their Joker. It can only be taken after the first 2 laps of the race have been completed, but then it's down to driver and team strategy to decide when to bite the bullet. So hello everybody, welcome to a very humid afternoon. Track temperature a reasonable 44 degrees, air 27, being treated to a beautiful air display just a few moments ago. Really nice looking job, pit special 38. Some very entertaining in-air entertainment. I'm Martin Haven, alongside me Matt Neal, and on pole position for the opening race, Honda's Rio Michigami. And after qualifying with a front row spot on the grid, alongside him starts Nesta Girolami. Alex Legui caught up with him a moment or two ago.
Your thoughts on the race ahead, and what is your strategy?
Really looking forward to see of the start. It's really important to have a good traction in the start. Finger crossed to overtake Rio and go for a good lap in the start. It's gonna be a really tough race because everybody wants to know what's happened when you go for a Joker lap and you lose 3-4 seconds around that. So I will take a risk. Maybe, I don't know, but to do early Joker lap if I have the gap, and we will see. Everything can happen in this race.
It is a big question mark. Nobody's done this before. No ex-rallycross drivers in the field, so this will be a voyage into the unknown for everybody, especially in circuit racing. Not aware the Joker Laps have been used in circuit racing before. Obviously, answers on a postcard, please. Nesta Girolami then with Rio Michigami, our front row starters. 2 new drivers full-time to the championship. Third on the grid, Esteban Guerreri with Mehdi Bnanni alongside him in 4th place. And we have a debutant in local driver Manuel Fernandez, born and bred in Villarreal, and Alex Legui spoke to him just before he left the pit lane.
Here with Manuel Fernandez. Manuel, it was a bit of a tricky day for you yesterday in qualifying. However, lovely to have you here, your first race in WTCC. What is your strategy around this very challenging circuit?
Well, my strategy is purely do the best I can inside my possibilities and try to get as further as possible on the track. Although I know it's very difficult, but we'll try to do our best.
Are we going to see you take an early Joker lap? Do you have anything specifically in place? And are you and a certain Kevin Gleeson going to work together?
No, we don't have anything arranged between Kevin and me or Jan. But I'm betting in making an early Joker lap. And hopefully with that I can catch up with the guys, and then when they make their Joker lap, hopefully I will be in front. But all depends on the conditions and how the things will go.
Be safe.
Very much. Bye.
And have fun. Manuel Fernandez raced here last year in the European Touring Car Cup. Support races we've had already from them here today, and makes his World Touring Car Championship debut on streets that he's known since his youngest days, born and bred in Villarreal, and the last couple of race weekends seeing them in very different form from what he's used to. So we are ready for the start procedure here on the grid. Pole position, DHL pole sitter is Ria Michigami, with Nesta Girolami sitting alongside him. Argentine drivers second and third on the opening race grid, because Esteban Guerreri starts the only Chevrolet in the race today in third spot ahead of Mehdi Bennani, whose Citroen teammate Tom Chilton is fifth ahead of the better of the three Volvos, Nicky Katzberg. Thiago Monteiro, who now lies second to Katzberg in point start 7, Ted Bjork 8th, Rob Huff in 9th place, and Norbert Michelitz in the factory Honda in 10th spot. Behind them, John Philippi, and then the three larders, Jan Erlaché, the best of them after qualifying ahead of Kevin Gleeson and new boy Manuel Fernandez. Will they all work together? And what about Aurelien Panis and Daniel Nudge? They may well work together. Expect to see any and all of those last 5 cars on the grid go in for the Joker lap immediately and try and gain track position later. One car notable for its absence, Tom Coronel. Crash in first free practice yesterday, wrecked the Royal Motorsport Chevrolet. Trucks rolled out of here yesterday evening. Tom's still here, he's okay, bit stiff, but the car heavily damaged, and it's on its way to Campos Racing to be straightened up and then freighted to Argentina with the rest of the field. So another repair bill and another race weekend where he was hoping for great things, where Tom Coronel will not even get a chance to start either of our 2 encounters. A little bit like Marrakesh a couple of years ago. Matt Neal, when the cars are on the grid and Tom is sitting watching, that's going to be an uncomfortable dynamic, because he would dearly love to be out there, and he won one of the races here, won the opening race last year. There's no indication he couldn't have another good weekend.
It is, Martin. We've got the DHL pole sitter, and the DHL car isn't even on the grid, but Tom's just, the dice haven't rolled his way this year, have they? Yeah. He's been in real good point scoring and race winning positions every lot, I mean many times, and it just seems to have rolled the wrong way for him. Nothing he's done wrong, it's just misfortune and the way it's gone, but hopefully he'll bounce back and get him back at Argentina. He'll have a light car, and we'll see him come back in force.
Yep, exactly so. Kevin Gleeson, our American driver in the second of the RC Racing Lada Vestas. And of course, these are the cars that run by the Lada factory team last year. RC Racing predominantly is the ex-Lada factory team. Haven't seen Viktor Shapovalov at any of the races recently, but he's still involved at the head of the field, although actually he spends almost all his time bike racing at the moment, not motorbikes, but cycling. Huge passion of his. Jan Erlaché, last weekend Le Mans 24 Hours, this weekend World Touring Car Championship. You can't say that he's not a renaissance man in terms of his driving. He'll drive anything, anywhere, anytime. About time we introduced him to the likes of the Goodwood Revival, I think, Matt. I think that would be right up his street.
And Martin, he's just spectacular. Wherever you watch him, I mean, he's wringing the neck of that Lada Vesta at the moment, and he's good entertainment to watch. And I just he's obviously at the start of his career, so it's going to be interesting. He shouldn't have this much confidence at this point of his career, but he has, hasn't he? He's almost got, he's sort of soaked up a load from Ivan.
Yeah,
and he's starting from running position, not walking position.
Yeah, he probably is. But you sort of forget what you were like though when you were that age as well, and that's what gets drivers or any other kind of sports person, athlete, to the top of their game, is having inner motivation but inner confidence as well. Just knowledge that you can do it, belief that you can do it.
But he quietly gets on with the job. Yeah. He's spectacular in the car, but he's very calm and non-obtrusive outside the car, isn't he? He's very grounded, level-headed, and very approachable for anybody.
Well, his mum's Kathy Muller, so I don't think there was probably an awful lot of nonsense taken there. She was a very determined team boss, and I'm fairly sure that Jan was, instructed in the correct way, and that definitely shows. So you just saw John Philippi, Norbert Michelitz, who starts 10th on the grid, 9th Rob Huff, and these two guys will be the front row for our main race. Norby going quicker than Rob in the single car shootout in Q3. So Norby will start the main race from the DHL pole, Rob Huff alongside. I'm talking to Huffy on the way to the commentary position, and he was saying that definitely the plan for race 2 is to get his head down, whether he's in front of Norby or behind, and just try and build up a big enough cushion to be able to take the Joker lap without losing any ground, which probably means late on in the race. And of course, if that's your strategy, there's only one thing you can't have. You can't have a safety car, because that will crucify you. And so with the European Touring Car Cup races that we've seen so far, we've had safety cars and red flags stopping the race for barrier damage. You have to say that if you're, almost no matter where you are, there is an onus to get in and get it done quickly, rather than to try and build up a lead, because you could be right on the point of building up a lead, and half a lap behind you somebody shunts and the safety car comes out, and that's it, your race is kiboshed. So it's a gamble, it is a roll of the dice, it's absolutely a step into the unknown territory. So we just,
that is one way of looking at it, Martin, but Villarreal is notoriously hard to pass, and so if you're one of the front 6 or 7, you drop your 4 seconds, it drops you back into the pack, and potentially you're getting held up there.
You're
with
exactly
the difficulty
right.
to overtake. So, I mean, there's so many different strategies.
Yes.
These drivers have been bantering around all the last couple of days, and I don't know whether there is a perfect one. You know, obviously with the race not having done it before, it's going to be new territory for everybody. And
on a street circuit, the chance of a safety car incident is much higher. So, yeah, you have to definitely bear that in mind. Well, who's going to dive in early? Who knows?
That's the dangerous thing, isn't it? You know, with now the reverse grid is the first race of the day. The real main players for the day, they've got to look after themselves, look after the cars, and you know, there's been a lot of offs this weekend so far, and a lot of damaged cars and a lot of damaged barriers. So they've got to be super careful.
Here's the deal: if you're one of the top 4 for the main race, so you're 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th, take it immediately. Take it at the end of after 2 laps, go in at the end of lap 3, and take it immediately. You lose track position, but all the cars in front of you will still need to take it. So if the safety car comes out, the time you've lost, you gain back. The earlier you go,
that's one way of
the less likely you are to get crippled by a safety car. The later you go, and that's you know, for Rob and Norby in race 2, if they're trying to build up a gap, the later you go, you know, the safety carometer starts to move into the red. You've got more chance of losing.
I think that's you having your glass half empty, Mr. Haven, not half full. I think they should go longer. So it's a great debate, isn't it?
Everybody can't go long. That's well, they all could. They all could do it on the first lap. They all could do it on the last lap. Down on the front of the grid, just saw Tom Coronel. If you don't follow him on social media, why are you doing social media? You really need to follow Tom Coronel. Go and have a look at what he posted yesterday, and you'll be able to go and have a look at what he's posting right now. He's probably doing Facebook Live from the front of the grid.
Inside info, isn't he?
Yeah.
He just gets camera angles and info from every side, and he's Dutch, but he does a lot of it in English, so it's really interesting stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are dark clouds in the distance, and we have no idea what rain might mean here in Villarreal, should it arrive. And should it arrive, I think all bets are off. Again, this is a very hot country, a hot part of a hot country, with very fine grain tarmac generally to withstand the heat, but not to soak up a lot of water. So whatever on earth happens with the Joker lap, with potential for rain, will be decided in the near future. Now. Not only does he speak English, he is a very eloquent man as well, Tom Coronel. So let's take a look once more at our starting grid. The DHL pole sitter for the opening race in Portugal, Ryo Michigami from Japan in the Honda Civic. Nestor Girolami, the Argentine, in the Volvo S60, and fellow Argentine Esteban Guerreri lines up 3rd ahead of Mehdi Bernani. Tom Chilton and points leader Nicky Katzberg ahead of 2nd in the points Thiago Monteiro and Ted Björk, then Rob Huff ahead of Norbert Mikulits. In 11th on down, these are the positions they'll inhabit for both races, and so those drivers who qualified outside the top 10 do not benefit from a reverse grid, although that would be entertaining to reverse the entire field. Possibly best not around here. We are ready to go. The green flag waves, and Ryo Michigami will lead the field away on the very final lap before this race gets underway. We will make history here in Villarreal, where they have been racing on the streets of the city since 1931. 86 years now since they first held a race on the unmetalled roads, the dirty, dusty tracks that led through the town. And since then, in various eras, we have been racing in Villarreal. Well, let's hear from French youngster Aurélien Panis on this final formation lap. Perhaps understandably not wanting to talk his way around a vital formation lap on this circuit in a second language. So we will see our cars form up. Again, as you can see, not only houses, telegraph poles and what have you around the side of the track with the odd grandstands, but of course a number of the corners we are using roundabouts and normal road junctions as part of the racetrack. In the background, the Matthias house, that's the home of Matthias, famous for the rosé wine that comes from this Douro Valley region of Portugal. And of course, down the Douro River, we find former home of the World Touring Car races in Portugal, Porto itself, which is famed globally for its port wine. Coming down to perhaps the most difficult braking area on the track, down into corner 19, this downhill chicane. You're coming over the brow there, comfortably north of 135 miles an hour, accelerating down the hill, trying to get the car to slow and then turn sharp left and sharp right with metal barriers and concrete walls all around you. Very, very demanding street circuit. Cars on the final few corners of the formation lap prior to the opening race here in Portugal. Being led by Rio Michigami. Through the roundabouts, normal racing line is to go around anti-clockwise, as they are doing now. And for one lap only, the Joker lap will go clockwise. You must stay. You must not cross the blue line, whether you're on the normal racing line or on the Joker lap. Now that blue line has been extended further away to remove the blend point from being quite so close to the roundabout. It's changed the racing line. There's been a little 15-minute warm-up session this morning, a test session, so the drivers could get used to it. It still remains to be seen what it looks like in a race. The rain board being prepared. And on the back of it says start delayed. No dramas yet from the skies above. We are getting ready to race in Portugal. Green flag is waving. Red lights are on. And away we go, or away we don't quite go for our pole sitter Rio Michigami. Finally gets it going in a second place. They're 3 or 4 wide behind. Good start from Yanel Lachey. Looked like a very slow start from one of the Castrol Hondas of Norman Mikulits. 3 wide with Thiago Monteiro on the inside. The track is very, very dirty on the outside when you sweep around this long left-hander at corner 4. You can see there. And they've also been warned about down at the bottom after the final chicane. Oh, a little brush there in the dirt from Esteban Guerreri. But he hangs on to the car right up underneath Mehdi Bennani. Matt Neal, they all got away with it in the opening lap, but there will be a bit of bumping and boring as they all try and find their way into a pocket in the traffic.
Yeah, there's definitely a few elbows out early on, but Girolami's reaction time was super fast. I thought he got the jump off the start. Oh, Katzberg going down the inside of Guerreri. Has
Guerreri's got a problem. He's been hung out to dry by the 2 Volvos. He's pulling off to one side. Esteban Guerreri, there must have been maybe that little brush with the Volvo or with the barrier, but the Argentine go very slow in. There's a car in the barriers, and that's the 24 car of Kevin Gleeson. The Lada, again, we've seen it all day today. Very different from how the track was yesterday. A lot of dirt and dust out by those barriers, just waiting to drag you in. And Kevin Gleeson hit the barriers. There's our newcomer, Manuel Fernandez, in the number 22 Lada. Mehdi Bennani made a great start, by the way. He's now up to 3rd position, Bennani. Tom Chilton down in 6th, 7th place. His teammate.
Bennani's up to the lead. Is he in the lead now, Aston?
No. Top 2 have gone away. Rio Michigami and Nesta Girolami. Oh! And Girolami all over Michigami. Oh, no, you're right. He has taken the lead. So where and when did that happen? Avoid the barriers. Ted Björk and Nicky Katzberg have to be very cautious of those barriers. Yes, Bennani with the lead of the race. Can't take the Joker lap until after lap 2. So the first lap they can go through would be lap 3 of the race. Spots of water on the camera lens. Excellent. Those of you who have just watched an unmitigated, unrestrained plane crash of an Azerbaijani Grand Prix might be thinking this is a little dull so far because we haven't yet had any major dramas, but this could well turn into a bit of a potboiler. So Rio Michigami in 2nd place, holding everybody up. 3rd place, the blue Volvo, Nesta Girolami. Then Tiago Monteiro, the championship 2nd place man. And further back behind him, Nicky Katzberg is in 7th place, the 2nd, or in fact the 3rd of the blue Volvos. So at the moment, Tiago is back in the championship lead, should nothing change. Of course, with the Joker laps, should nothing change is about as likely as saying, should the sun not come up. Bennani trying to pull away, 1.5 seconds ahead of Rio Michigami, and behind Rob Huff on the crown of the road trying to hold off Norbert Mikulits, and right behind him Jan Erlache, now up to 10th position. Erlache from 12th on the grid.
It's the Castrol Hondas that have really had the pace all the weekend so far, but obviously with the reverse grid they're starting back in the pack, and it's if they can try to make progress from where they are, or do they dare take the Joker lap early?
They might need to, mightn't they? Whoa!
Bennani's definitely trying to make some air, isn't he, to try
Getting
and...
fast and loose. Well, he finds himself unexpectedly in front, so I'm sure the engineers on the radio are going, OK, Mehdi, push, 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 make a gap, take your Joker lap early, and then try and avoid the dramas with the safety car.
He's certainly doing that. Michigami's the cork in the bottle at the moment. He's just holding Girolami back.
Now, the problem is, it's looking like about a 4-second slower lap doing the Joker lap. 4 seconds behind him would drop him into the gap behind Mikulits to Erlache, but it's not a big gap.
Yeah, he pulled 4/10 on that lap. If he can get another 2, 3, 4 laps in, he could just about do it.
Yeah.
Don't forget, they've got to be able to take theirs as well.
Right, where on earth has Bennani got this from? He starts from 4th on the grid. He's on the left on the 2nd row. There's almost a rub with Esteban Guerreri, who starts on the inside and goes outside. Kevin Gleeson.
Yeah, Girolami moves over to block...
And they're all bunched on the inside.
Guerreri. Chilton holds his ground, muscles his way through.
And Bennani's up to 2nd there as Tiago eases through on the inside as well. And then Bennani, where does he get the lead from Rio Michigami? Is it up at this first corner at the roundabout? There's Michigami in the lead in the grey and red Honda. Bennani's squeezed his way through. Well, he must have passed him, I think, here at turn 6. Joker lap is now enabled. DRS zone is open, if you like. Let's see who goes early. Fastest race lap so far after 2 laps completed is by Rob Huff in 8th place. There he goes in the black Munich Motorsport car. And we know who the fastest car through the speed traps was all through free practice and qualifying, don't we? It was Mehdi Bennani, quicker than anybody else on top speed. And if he's got the car trimmed out for pace again today, starting 4th on the opening race grid, he may well have sacrificed a tiny bit of grip for some straight line speed.
Yeah, Martin, a lot of the drivers are all complaining about understeer, and you know, Bennani, Citroen, looked one of the loosest cars out there in 3 practice and qualifying. So if he's got it right, he could have actually just hit the nail on the head. I mean, they're running the rear of these cars incredibly high around here. Oh, here we go.
Yep. Well, there's a huge bunch led by Tom Chilton. So Chilton, Katzberg, Björk, Huff, first available opportunity.
But why do you follow someone through there? You don't gain anything, that's what.
Yeah, but you don't lose anything either.
They're stuck in the traffic.
Well, they're still stuck in the same train. You know, they would be whether they went through there or not, but at least they've got it out of the way should there be a safety car. Esteban Guerreri in the pits. We may not see him back in. Lead for Bernani, 2.1 seconds. So he's going to need another 4, 5, maybe 6 laps to get out to a 4-second gap where he can take the Joker lap and then come back out. And there's only 8 laps left, or 7 after this. So Bernani's committed now. He's rolled the dice to going very late.
Michigami's sort of turned the tables on Girolami as well. He's down now, broken the toe, and he's pulling away. Yeah, he's easing away from Girolami because Girolami's fighting off Tiago, and that's the problem for Nesta in 3rd place, is Tiago Monteiro. The problem for Monteiro is that he's got another Volvo line astern, Ted Björk. So Katzberg's taken the Joker lap along with Tom Chilton, and in fact they remain in the same positions. There's just a bigger gap. Oh, there's Huff on Katzberg. That could work very well for Tiago Monteiro. And right up behind is Norbert Mikulits. Huffy's headlights strobing away. This is the battle for 7th. Don't forget, none of these guys have lost any track position by doing their Joker lap. They've just dropped back a little. Bernani, another fastest race lap, a 59.4 this time. Everybody else a 10th or 2 slower. In fact, Michigami a 10th slower. Girolami in 3rd place, half a second slower. And Michigami, the second car in your shot, has definitely started to creep away. 2 more. Through goes Tiago. Oh, made a mistake, and so did Ted Björk. And they both come back on in front of Chilton, so now I've got to recall whether Chilton was behind them or not. I think he was. Well, anyway, he is. 5th, yes.
Yeah, so I think that is status quo maintained.
But Björk hasn't taken his good
he just went in behind Tiago. Yeah, so they, not much gained, not much lost, but Tiago, no, he was behind Nicky Katzberg, wasn't he? So he's going, so Tiago has got him back in front of Nicky Katzberg. So between Tiago, again, is still those 2 cars, and then Nicky Katzberg. Tiago still then reclaiming the championship lead as of
behind
now.
Nicky Katzberg. So Huffy's jumped to Michelitz.
Yeah, he has. No,
well done. We gained 1 position.
Okay.
Yeah, Björk jumped Chilton.
We need to work on our timing screen because it doesn't actually say who's going what over
just
who.
A bit delayed.
Well, no, but it doesn't say who's moved up the order, so you have to have actually taken a photo of it before every lap.
Gleason, they're under the bonnet, but that might be, they were looking at the right rear as well, which might be that flick on the arms on the opening lap.
Might be a bit of debris and overheating as well. So Guerreri and Gleason both with opening lap contact in the pit lane.
Okay, Huffy's got a little bit of air in front of him. If he can get the hammer down. The Citroen is still very heavy.
Volvo making a move on Michigami. That's Nesta Girolami. He came out of the chicane all over the back of the Japanese driver. Didn't get through, but the writing is on the wall, isn't it? He really needs to hurry Michigami along. Another quickest lap last time around for Bernani, and Girolami. I thought he was in trouble there. He was in trouble there. He didn't do the Joker lap.
He was going to do the Joker lap.
He's given away half a second there just by not quite being sure whether or not to do it.
Yeah, I think he was going for it, then was carrying two.
I think he had a Monteiro moment down the hill there because he was right up behind Michigami. I think he lost the back of the car and was collecting it all up and didn't dare try and do the Joker lap.
Talking of which, fastest lap of the race, Tiago Monteiro.
Oh, yes. 59.1 for Tiago, 59.3 for Mehdi on that last lap. So Rio Michigami in second, Nesta Girolami in third. Top three yet to take their Joker laps, and they have not got a gap.
I reckon we're going to see Bernani this time. He's now built it up. He's got 4.2 second lead, so this could be it if he wants to play it super safe.
Yeah, he has to do it now because he's got the gap in his favour. Fastest man on track is Tiago Monteiro, but only just ahead of our race leader, Mehdi Bernani. Rio Michigami in second place, the 34 Honda, then the blue Volvo of Nesta Girolami. Those top three yet to do their Joker lap. All the cars behind Girolami are in a long train and they have all done the Joker lap, he is going to lose big time, because when he takes his Joker lap, he's going to sink like a stone all the way to the back of that queue. He's going to come out behind Norbert Mikulec.
He's going to come out right in the middle of it, Martin.
He's not, is he? Not if it costs him 4 seconds. 4 seconds from him is going to leave him, Huff Mikulec sort of territory, but there's nowhere to get back in there.
I reckon he's going to be Chilton Katzberg's brain.
I don't know. He's got to get in though, because it's like it's going to be like in NASCAR when you're on the high line, you just hung out to dry. There's going to be a stream of cars coming by.
He will have the inside line into
right, come on, Mehdi. Here we go. Now we're going to see. This is the way that he was hoping to build up an advantage. He's going to be much slower out of the roundabout than the cars behind, but that's enough. Bernani will be in the lead of the race, so he remains in the lead. And you know, there's every opportunity. Thiago Monteiro is going to finish second, Ted Björk in third here, because Rio Michigami, the 34 Honda, and Nesta Girolami, the 61 Volvo, have been caught by the guys who've already paid the price of going on the Joker lap. They cannot win anything from this situation, never mind the race. I'm afraid Michigami and Girolami's strategy has consigned them to dropping down. Well, not just their strategy, Matt, not enough speed to go away like Bernani. If they'd been able to stick with Mehdi, they could have done a Joker lap there and still come out in front of Thiago.
The interesting thing is, Michigami's and Girolami are holding them up at the moment.
Yep.
Monteiro has been super fast all weekend. Once we get rid of these two, Monteiro's got a clear crack at the back of Bernani.
Yeah, however, he might have one lap and 6 seconds to go. Rio Michigami, Nesta Girolami, second and third. Yet to take their Joker laps. Our race leader, Mehdi Bernani, cantering away, has taken his Joker laps. Those that haven't are shown in red. The other driver who has yet to take his, Manuel Fernandez, the local driver from Villarreal, down towards the tail of the field in one of the 3 RC Racing Lada Vestas. Well, Matt, now you're in a hole.
Yeah.
You've got to pray for a safety car or something. Michigami and Girolami.
Yeah, Michigami.
They've got to go. They've got to go now. Yeah. Girolami's going now. Michigami, he's going now as well.
Okay.
The later you leave it, the more of a hole you're in.
That's great. Now we can see the pace of the Honda, because that's going to release Thiago.
Oh, where are we going to get the blend? Oh, Michigami squeezes in front of Katzberg. That's exactly. Oh! And Girolami and Huff's through on the inside, little bit of a rub.
Michelic's going to run as well, following him through.
Norby finds the door open. Nesta had to get off the throttle there. And it's uphill there, isn't it, out of that really slow chicane. And so he was really struggling there for pace. It doesn't look like it, but it is steep uphill there.
Yeah, a bit of pushing and shoving at the playground there.
Yeah, definitely was. Oof, bump. Girolami getting the hurry up, getting the bums rush there.
That gave Norby a run on all of them.
Yeah. Getting the bums rush off Rob Huff, and in front of him, the other car, Nicky Katzberg, the Volvo, getting a bit of a hurry up shunt from behind. Here's our race leader there, Mehdi Bernani. Crikey, what a race he's had. 4th on the grid, and it galloped away on the opening lap. Made the gap he needed. I mean, that was exactly what you needed to do from those front starting positions. It shows it is possible.
Yeah, but those Castrol Hondas have been, they're 30 kilos lighter this weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, with the way the regs are working. So now he's got a clear shot at the back of the Citroen. It's going to be great to see
and Huffy's having a look. That's Nicky Katzberg, the championship leader in front. Rob Huff couldn't get close enough there. 150 miles an hour top speed here. And that's Fernandez. Manuel Fernandez in the barriers. That's at turn 16, I think.
That's Katzberg.
And through goes Huff. On the oil, on the dirt, but Michigami's hung out to dry on the outside, and Norby's right there as well. And Norby's trying to go around Michigami. Rio Michigami hasn't got the pace here that he needed.
that was a proper opportunistic manoeuvre off Huffy.
Well, you know,
The door was open.
yeah, throw the dog a bone. Rob Huff is right there. He is a street fighter, isn't he? Thiago moves up the order to second place.
That was like one of your mates just got in the nightclub and the bouncer's trying to close the door and you shoulder barge in.
And Norbert Mikulits, I think Rio's going to make this easy for him. He does. Rio Michigami now is going to try and hang on in front of Nesta Girolami. These two started on the front row. And the team asked Rio Michigami, I think, to allow Norbert Mikulits to go through.
It's almost as though he misses a gear there or box a gear on the edge.
Just
look at Huffy. Oh, I'll tell you, it's a risky move.
Yeah,
Rob.
probably was. But it's a street race, Matt. You know, you've got to make the moves when there's a quarter of a gap, never mind half a gap, and just hope that you can get the thing stopped on all that oil dry.
At the inside.
Yeah, really did. Lap 9 of 11, 2 to go after this. Mehdi Bennani still leads.
Bravo.
Don't bravo
Which
yet.
problem, Rio?
Not over.
I think tire.
Trouble. He's saying trouble, not bravo.
What's the trouble for Rio? I think it's a tyre, he said.
No, I think that's Thiago, wasn't it? Now, the Volvos and the Hondas have all had problems in qualifying pre-practice, so with the bashing they get off these big sleeping policemen in these sort of ungainly chicanes they have to go through, weave their way through, then we could see...
Well, if Thiago's got a problem, he's disguising it well. He's just done the fastest second sector of his race. Gap is down from 4 point whatever to 1.8 first to second. Thiago Monteiro closing on Mehdi Bennani. New fastest lap for Thiago Monteiro, and Michigami's the man with the tyre problem right front. Looks like it might be. Unfortunately, he's just gone by the pits as well, so he's got 4.7 kilometres to get back without destroying the car on the penultimate lap, and he's going to be going very slowly when they come up behind him towards the end of the lap. He's at turn 19 down at the chicane, and hopefully will be out of the way. In fact, he's a lot further round than I thought he was from that shot.
Yeah, is that ominous for the other Hondas, or is it?
Oh, here comes Thiago. That is ominous. 3/10 quicker than Mehdi on the last lap. It's lap 10 of 11. Penultimate lap here. In fact, it wasn't. There was 8/10 quicker than Mehdi Bennani on the last lap. Gap was down to a second. It is less than that now. First sector, Mehdi was actually 3/10 quicker. Thiago, is he pulling over? Or was that just the racing line? Didn't look like he was going quite as fast as I expected him to be, but no sign of everybody streaming by him yet. There's Bennani, there's Monteiro. Ted Björk is closing, so is Tom Chilton. There's Katzberg in 5th, Huff in 6th. Thiago 43.8 second sector, Bennani 43.7 second sector. So Thiago has got the pace still, but he's not closing on Bennani.
It does look as though he's physically dropped back a wee bit from the back of Bennani now.
Yeah, gap's out over a second now. That's more like a second and a half, isn't it?
Björk is...
Yeah, you don't want to...
as though he's closing.
Don't want to drop back into the clutches of Ted Björk on the last lap. Don't forget, this is to take the lead back in the championship for Monteiro and a podium in the first race in his home country. Rio Michigami was right front. You can see the tyre completely free of air there and off the rim. They want to get him fixed and ready before the car's going to Parc Fermé. There's Katzberg's blue Volvo ahead of Huff's black Citroen. That's the battle for 5th. Norby is right here. We ride on it, on board with him in 7th place.
Wow, fastest lap of the race, Norbert Mikulits.
Yeah.
Down in 7th place at the moment.
Still nothing wrong with the speed of the Castrol Hondas around here, is there? Monteiro 1.4 behind Bennani at the beginning of the race, and in Mehdi Bennani's garage, there's his mum on the left. Everybody really, really praying that this comes good for him. What an emotional time he had at the Nürburgring. I can't believe that Mehdi Bennani made such a good fist of this. Main race victory in Hungary. Mehdi Bennani halfway around the lap, the fastest part of the circuit, the place where his car looks, frankly, the most frightening in the field. And he's on his way down the hillside now, out of the last really critical braking area. Oh, Mehdi Bennani, we're going to have another different race winner here, aren't we? Thiago Monteiro is a little closer, but not close enough. I think Bennani is just breathing a fraction easier now. Out of the last chicane, down the hill, still half a dozen corners to go, around the roundabout, turns 26 and 27. And the checker flag is out. It is victory in Portugal for Mehdi Bennani, a race that he made for himself. Took the lead on the opening lap, broke the opposition, drove away, made the gap to do the Joker lap with no dramas. And what a race! Mehdi Bennani victorious. Thiago Monteiro, you saw his dad looking happy as well. His wife and kids are here as well this weekend, of course, in Portugal, so he's very happy. And Ted Björk makes it a Citroën, a Honda and a Volvo on our opening race podium. Well, well, well. Matt Neal, if you were going to outline the perfect strategy for the race, starting from row 2 of the grid, Mehdi Bennani ticked every single box on the way, didn't he?
Yeah, what a race indeed. From where you're starting in the pack, if you'd have said to him, you're going to win this race at the beginning of it, he wouldn't have, he'd have put his house against it, I would have thought, as I would have.
Yeah.
But I think Girolami was too focused on keeping Guerreri behind him. He moved over, and that sort of just opened the door, and Mehdi had fresh air, daylight in front, and he managed to jump. They said one of the key places is turn 6, and whether he managed just to catch Michigami playing it too safe on the first lap or whatever, but wow, clean car, no scratches.
Yeah,
job's a good one, isn't it?
Absolutely. Super job. His second win of the season. The only other person to have claimed 2 race wins this year is Volvo's Ted Björk. Oh, beg your pardon, and Thiago Monteiro.
Well,
they both run a main race, they both won an opening race. Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Big result here. 2 years ago, huge crash, car destroyed. Dreadful weekend. Last year, won the main race to massed adulation from the fans. And again, on the podium in 2nd place. Nicky Catsburg gets points for 5th. So Thiago Monteiro is our new championship leader again. And Matt, that's exactly what he needed, isn't it, to get that momentum coming back in his direction.
Exactly, Martin. I mean, for the home crowd, for Thiago Monteiro, it's just what he needed after Nürburgring. That was a rotten weekend for him, so to bounce back, and he's obviously got better grid position for this one, so
into the pit lane. If he hasn't got a tear in his eye, Mehdi Bennani, then I will be very surprised. It's a great result for him, great for Thiago. Ted Björk, more points for the man who lies 3rd in the championship. There is the moment when Ria Michigami and Nesta Girolami went through and did their Joker lap, staying religiously their side of the blue line. And here, through went Thiago Monteiro up to 2nd place. Knew it was going to come, didn't we? Because the guys behind who did their Joker lap lost the time, then caught up with Girolami and with Michigami. And unfortunately for Nesta Girolami, he was stuck behind Ria Michigami, who was going slower than him. I think Girolami needed to take his Joker lap an awful lot earlier than he did.
Watch that roof, Mehdi.
Yeah.
Then he made a paper.
Yes, almost literally he made a paper. It'll dent very easily. Right now, though, feeling very, very happy with himself. Clearly, dabbing is not a thing yet in Marrakesh. There's Thiago Monteiro, second place. Not quite a win, but good news in the championship. Now opens up a slender 7-point advantage over Nicky Katzberg. Ted Björk 1 behind, and Bernani jumps up to 4th place. Started the day in 7th in the championship, and Matt, that's how close it is. It is getting tighter and tighter at the top, actually, rather than anybody starting to pull away. And that's exactly what we want from a championship, is as many different race winners as we possibly can.
Well, and the Hondas are slightly lighter this weekend, and they showed the pace but were bottled up, but so they will in turn get weight, be back up even heavier than the Volvo and the Citroen for the next one for Argentina, so it'll swing it backwards and forwards, which I think it's going to do.
Exactly so, exactly so. Well, Thiago being well received by friends, family and fans, and well-wishers in the garage, and so too is Mehdi Bernani. You can't not love Mehdi Bernani. He's such a heart on his sleeve young man. Lost his dad over the summer, over the winter break rather, and you know, that's always a very major blow for anybody, but he's really bounced back this year and is turning into, unquestionably, I think, his best season in World Touring Cars. Well, let's hear from our race winner with Alex Legui.
Oh, wow, Mehdi Bernani, congratulations. What a race that was. You're the winner of the opening race here at Villarreal. You took it at the start, and that was it. There was no stopping you.
Yeah, I was driving on the limit since the start. Also, the start I touched a little bit with the Chevrolet, but I keep full throttle. I know that if we don't take 100% risk, there are not a great result to record here. I'm so happy to take it. I was very happy to take my Joker lap, even with the Joker lap, to go out in the still leading race. It's great, and to win here in front of the home hero, Portugal. And I think we have been, everything was perfect. So.
You pushed so hard. That gap that you pushed at the beginning meant that your strategy worked so well.
I think no strategy. The best strategy is to don't have a strategy. I think the only things I had from the team, it's full 100% risk. It's tricky to say something like this here, because if you just do a mistake, you crash the car and you crash on the high-speed corner. So I was very lucky to finish with 100% risk. And thanks to the team, thanks to everybody, and thanks to King of Morocco to follow me and to support me to be there around the best driver on the world.
A good, clean win. Well done, Mehdi.
Thanks a lot, Alex.
Okay. Well, you think back to the days where he was finding his feet in the championship with Seat Leons, with BMWs, where he showed he had pace and he didn't quite maybe sometimes have all the race car experience that he needed, the race craft that he needed, maybe the patience occasionally. Or like today, Matt, the confidence in himself to hang it out on the ragged edge every single lap. And that's what a track like this demands. You can't have a safety margin. Our top three, you've just worked out, came from 4th, 8th and 9th on the grid. No safety car, no major crashes. The real losers, Michigami and especially Girolami, stuck behind Michigami, needed to have bit the bullet early, I think, with that Joker lap.
And also Katzberg, he started on the 3rd row, and both Monteiro and Bjorg managed to leapfrog him. So for whatever reason, it does get confusing with the Joker lap, the way it all plays out. But I mean, it's worked this time. Fantastic.
Well, look at that. Bernani up to 4th place, ahead of Tom Chilton. Rob Huff closing on Chile as well. Norbert Mikulec makes up a few more points. Esteban Guerreri scores a 0 here, unfortunately for him. So does Nestor Girolami. No, he ended up in 8th place. He gets points ahead of Jan Elish and John Philippi. But yeah, and it wasn't all caused either by the Joker lap. Actually, it was all that bumping and boring on the opening lap that started to move positions around. Bernani was brave enough to take advantage. Great view down over Villarreal, just over the start-finish straight and the pit area, and in the theatre in the centre of town, on the open-air stage, is our podium. John Montero looks like he's worked hard for that, doesn't he, Matt? A very warm-looking boy.
Yeah, it's warm out there, but two, it's very, very close. The humidity's quite high this weekend, so especially today with rain forecast that's coming in. It was looking like we were going to get it for the first race. It's held off, but we have now got a latest forecast. It's due in about 1 hour. So that could be halfway through the second race, which would liven things up.
Well, we did have just a couple of spots on camera lenses at the beginning of the opening race, but never arrived. Third place then in our opening race, Volvo's Ted Björk. Second place for Honda, Thiago Monteiro. Don't go too soon, fans in the crowd. There's still the main race to go.
He'll be pleased with that as well. Starting 8th on the grid, and he's got a great grid position for the second round.
From Sebastian Loeb Racing, it's Mehdi Bennani.
Mehdi Bennani. A very, very impressive race from the Moroccan driver. And Hero says, in his humble way, so delighted to be racing against some of the world's best drivers. Well, he's in there as well. Well, what a season he is having so far. Mehdi Bennani, this is race 9. He's made 4 trips to the podium before coming here. This is his 5th and his 2nd win of the season. So, president of Villarreal Automobile Club, Jorge Fosenza, is presenting the trophy to our 3rd place finisher, Ted Björk.
Position driver, Thiago Monteiro, is Manuel Coutinho from Manuel Coutinho Enterprise.
Biggest car dealer in the region, if not in Portugal. Shouldn't be at all surprised to find Manuel Coutinho. Thiago Montero looking well pleased. That's a big hatful of points when you're at the wrong end of the opening race grid. And our race winner from row 2 of the grid, I'm sure he dared dream whether he realistically thought, yep, wins on from here or not. You can always think, Matt, can't you, that there is a chance of a win. And he, you know, the gaps open in the right direction, and when they started to close, he was deep enough in that he could hold his line and hold his nerve and grab the lead.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how it unfolded in that opening couple of laps with the pushing and the shoving, and everyone managing to keep it clean, stay out the barriers, and we got some good, hard, clean racing all the way through. Yeah.
Fans my age will remember watching Nianarim racing over many years. Started in junior single-seaters, raced in sports cars, Portuguese Touring Car Championship as well. Didn't see him here, but presenting the trophy to our top Yokohama driver, the independent driver, the trophy won by Mehdi Bennani.
Boys, please come together for your official
Sebastian Loeb Racing, of course, is the winning team, taking their trophy as well. Of all the places Mehdi Bennani has won races now, I wonder if he's fated not to ever have it happen for him in Marrakesh. An entertaining and highly enterprising first race from Mehdi Bennani. Just pulled it off to perfection, drove the wheels off the Citroën and made victory happen. Great super slow-mo views there, showing just what tyre deflection really means and how much, despite their hard race suspension, the cars bottom out in places here. Rob Huff leading the WTCC trophy from Tom Chilton, Mehdi Bennani closing again a fraction. And there are the other point scorers.